Okay, everyone, I just obtained copies of the motions to dismiss the indictment filed by James Comey. He was indicted after posting a photo of a seashell formation that said 8647. Now, Comey has acknowledged that 47 refers to President Trump, the 47th president, but 86, now what that means is the subject of debate. President Trump has said it's a mob term, meaning kill. Now, we also know it's used in the restaurant industry. It could mean to deny service. For example, the wait staff, if they don't want to serve someone, they'll 86 that customer. Or it could mean the kitchen is out of something, some ingredient. In any event, the government has now released evidence regarding what Jim Comey understood 86 to mean and evidence of what he intended by posting the 8647 photo on his Instagram. Now, it was on or about May 15th of last year, 2025. Now, at 3:12 p.m., Comey's wife sent him a screenshot from the internet. Here it is. Now, his wife, Patrice, sent the slang definition of 86, means to get rid of or to refuse service. It's often used in restaurants and bars to indicate that an item is out of stock or bar a customer from being served. Now, 2 minutes later, at 3:14 p.m., Comey posted this photo on his Instagram with the caption, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Now, at the time, they were on vacation on Emerald Isle, a beach town in North Carolina. Now, at least 2 residents of Emerald Isle, one of whom worked for the police department, notified the chief of police. A relative of Comey texted Comey's wife. Now, here's the text. The relative says, and I quote, "I have held my tongue for quite a long time, but I just can't do it anymore. You guys have really gone off the deep end over the years with your TDS. Now, 8647 is a call for violence, no matter how you spin it. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I am thoroughly embarrassed to have ever defended the absolute coward that is your husband. You and Jim are some of the least accepting, most hypocritical people I've had the displeasure of knowing. I hope Jim goes to jail for his crimes," unquote. Now, that message was from a relative. So Comey's wife texted back. Here's the text. She says, "So sorry that you are misunderstanding that some people think Trump is a bad president. There is no call for violence," unquote. Now, apparently after this text, Comey himself contacted the police chief and stated that his Instagram post may have angered his neighbors. Now, we're also given the U.S. Attorney's theory of the case. In opposing the motions to dismiss, the U.S. Attorney writes, even if Comey did not arrange the seashells himself or plan his post in advance, that would not change the threatening nature of his post. But there is also reason to doubt his story and therefore his overarching credibility. The shells were located 4 miles down the beach from the beachfront property where Comey was staying, in an area separated from the ocean by a sand dune, and there is no evidence that anyone else arranged, photographed, or even saw the shells. Wow. So if any of us didn't understand before, we should understand now. This is why Comey was indicted. It's because the U.S. Attorney believes that Comey himself arranged the shell formation. And there's further evidence. Comey is now an author of fiction novels, political thrillers. The novel published around the time of the Instagram post is called FDR Drive. Regarding that novel, the U.S. Attorney says, and I quote, "The antagonist successfully persuades his followers to kill his political rivals by communicating coded messages online." The U.S. Attorney says that the novel describes the stochastic terrorism theory in which a charismatic leader, the antagonist of the novel, rids himself of his enemy by suggesting to his political followers that he wants the enemy gone, and then the followers go whack the guy. Now, in opposing the motions to dismiss, the U.S. Attorney quotes at length from Comey's novel, which was published right around the time of the Instagram post. The U.S. Attorney says the novel is evidence of Comey's state of mind. Now, in Comey's novel, which again is called FDR Drive, the characters are discussing a terrorist named Buchanan. They're analyzing Buchanan's motives and methods. They compare Buchanan to King Henry II, who was famously in a power struggle with his former friend Thomas Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury. They got into a battle of wills because the king wanted to control the church. Now, at one point, the king had an angry outburst in front of 4 of his knights. Apparently, he said, "Will no one rid me of this meddlesome priest?" And the knights obliged. They killed Thomas Becket. That's historical fact. Now, according to Comey, there's no connection between his novel and his Instagram post, which seems to direct violence toward the president through a coded message. But the U.S. attorney thinks differently about that, obviously. In opposing the motions to dismiss, the U.S. attorney also emphasizes the heightened threat environment around the president around the time of the Instagram post. In the 10 months leading up to the post, there were at least 4 high profile assassination attempts against President Trump. Now, just to conclude, I want to show a copy of the indictment. Here it is. Now, it's 3 pages, but the last 1.5 pages just contains a notice of forfeiture. So it's a 1.5 page indictment. Now, I've said before on this channel, when an indictment is this short, the U.S. attorney wants to go to trial. If the case gets beyond the pretrial motions, and Comey's attorneys are filing motion after motion to try to get the case dismissed before trial. But if it gets to trial, there could be lots of surprises. It will come down to what the jury believes. Will they believe that Comey was calling for violence against President Trump? Comey's relative, who texted Patrice, thought it was a call to violence. I'll be following this case. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.